All right, so I teach in the biotechnology program at the Cape Peninsula University of Technology. I'm responsible for a range of subjects, such as microbiology, some molecular biology, research methodology. I teach bioinformatics, immunology, and such subjects related to the discipline of biotechnology. I'm also currently in an acting capacity, the Curriculum and Academic Development Coordinator in the Faculty of Applied Sciences at CPUT. So teaching subjects that are in the STEM field and also relatively abstract brings with it a number of challenges. This is especially the case when teaching science to a large group of first-year students. So we know that students arrive at our institutions from diverse backgrounds, from various socio-economic standings, different levels of preparedness, motivation, reasons for studying, various parts of the country, and also we get students internationally. So this rich mix of experiences, ideas, and eagerness really fuels the learning experience in the first year, as students acclimatize to the culture and expectations of the university journey. But this diversity also presents several opportunities, just one of which is the linguistic capital that students bring to the classroom. I think the language issue, generally seen as an issue, is often viewed as an impediment in the learning and teaching of science. But there are various interventions that institutions put in place to instill a language literacy from a very early stage in the university's students' career, from first year, so that they can engage with content which is delivered primarily in English. But the diverse linguistic capital can also present a rare opportunity to validate students' agency, give them the space to feel valued, to share and learn in their own language, and to provide a platform for the co-creation of knowledge through peer-led learning. Prevailing practices for linguistic inclusivity and transformation center on the use of multilingual glossaries. These can be very beneficial to students, provided they are used effectively. But these glossaries also have their limitations, one of which is its reach. We tend to develop glossaries for the languages mostly represented in the geographic locations of our institutions. But we tend to attract students from all over the country. And in my own context, we attract students from abroad as well, foreign nationals, international students. So to these students, the glossaries have little use. So I found that a significant number of students still felt linguistically excluded in my biotechnology classroom. So I thought another strategy had to be used, and translanguaging offered a means. There's quite a bit already written on the pedagogic value of translanguaging. However, an approach to effectively implement translanguaging in the science classroom was somewhat lacking. So we needed an instrument. I think this is where the value of the paper lies. It offers a method or a mechanism through which the linguistic capital that students bring to the institution, however diverse, may be harnessed to help students understand difficult and abstract conceptual knowledge. In doing so, students are also given the agency over their knowledge journey. They draw on their own experiences to variously represent, often in a much richer sense, whatever is presented to them in English. But the proposed translanguage approach goes further. It explores a route to still meet the academic literacy requirements of the subject of discipline in a process that develops and expands the linguistic repertoire through the peer-led learning process, and also explores academic writing. So we still instill academic writing in students. So in the end, it's about a more fulfilling learning journey, a better experience on the road to meeting the same outcomes of a particular subject or curriculum. So the student reflections, as described in the paper, makes for interesting reading. Well, one of the biggest learnings is that the possibilities and opportunities to enhance the teaching and learning experience in our classrooms may come from unexplored places. Of course, not all, but many challenges we face can be reframed as opportunities for learning. Our diverse classrooms are fascinating social spaces, even in the online space. So there's so much in there to learn from. Students are eager to try innovative or creative pedagogies, provided they understand the value of it. I think this is another learning from the paper, that we need to identify, we need to value, and we need to appreciate the capital in our classrooms. It comes in many forms, but once we determine what it is and harness it effectively, learning becomes enormously more enriching for us as academics and for students in the classroom. So the paper proposes that the translanguage pedagogy as a tool, in the way its implementation is described, can be used in almost any classroom. Well, this is the question then, can it be used in any classroom? And that needs to be explored further. So the hope is that other practitioners would test the instruments in the linguistically diverse classrooms. I think it can, and if so, how can we improve this pedagogy? It certainly needs to be adaptive to change as our classroom context change. With technology, language may not be a so-called challenge in the not too distant future with AI coming in. But the principle of the translanguage pedagogy should be adapted to whatever that next challenge is. The key is to recognize what our students bring and to harness that capital. Yeah, no, so I'm a co-author on the paper. Murad Paxton is a second author, and we drew heavily on her knowledge in the linguistic space. I'm a scientist by training, and this is something that I explored based on my experience in the classroom, the perceived difficulties I had discussing concepts with students. So really the linguistic and the pedagogic value of translanguaging was something that emanated from discussions with my co-author. So, it's a joint product. Thanks.